Hello, students. Today we are going to start with our second chapter. We are not afraid to die if we can all be together, written by Gordon Cook and Alan East of Hornbill. First of all, students, I would like to tell you about the different characters of the story, mainly as this is the story of one family, the family which wanted to go for a voyage. Voyage means sea journey, and they had been planning for it for years. The family members are the narrator, and the narrator is Gordon Cook himself. He belongs to Plymouth, England. He is a 37 years old businessman. His wife, Mary, son, Jonathan, who is 6 years old, daughter, Suzanne, she is 7 years old. Jonathan is called John, and Suzanne is called Shu. In short, we can say these are the nicknames of the children. Besides this, they have two crewmen. First name is American Larry Vigil, and second one is Herb Sizzler. They went on the voyage on the boat Wave Walker. The description of which is given, it is a 23 meters long and 30-ton wooden hulled beauty. They sailed down the west coast of Africa to Cape Town. They started their journey from there. Now I would like to talk about the title of the chapter, We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Can All Be Together. This particular chapter, the title is a statement made by the 6 years old son of the narrator, Gordon Cook. Jonathan made this statement when they were struck in such a situation that it was not certain whether they will be able to survive or not, which shows the bravery of the boy. Now, I would like to start the chapter first of all with the theme. The theme of the story. Now, there are many themes running through the story. First of all, the story We Are Not Afraid to Die is an example of the fact that courage, bravery, and togetherness can be a remedy for any illness of the world. And it is also stated, or it is also presented, that optimism in the direst stressing situation can help in overcoming obstacles. The story also highlights human instinct to explore the unexplored world, and it also presents before us the importance of experience, skill, and good decision, which helps a lot when a person is in trouble. If a person is well experienced, he is well skilled, and if he takes good decision, all these three act as a luck factor. Later people call it luck. एक लाइन आती है, he worked whole day, he didn't sleep whole night, he worked very hard to prove his caliber, to prove himself, and finally when he win, people say he is lucky. So luck factor is also shown importance in this chapter. Because of luck, They were able to survive the situation. Now I'm going to narrate the summary in front of you, students. Pay attention. Actually, Gordon Cook, his wife Mary, and his children, means their children, Jonathan and Suzanne, they set sail in their boat, Wave Walker, from Plymouth in July 1976. And I would like to tell you that they had been preparing for this voyage for years. They practice a lot, they spend a lot of time honing their seafaring skills. First of all, in 1976, they started for the voyage. Then, the first part of their journey was quite pleasant. The initial part of the journey from Cape Town was smooth, there was no trouble. When they turned towards south, they engaged two crewmen, American Larry Vigil and Herb Sizzler. He belonged to Switzerland. And they engaged the two crewmen just for their support, as they wanted the help of these two people, these two men, to help in the direst situation of roughest situation of the southern Indian Ocean. But soon, when they crossed the first part of the voyage, they started encountering rough seas, and this they started facing strong gales. This lasted for many weeks, but the ship survived the gales. Gales means strong wind. But their trouble started on 2nd January. The atmospheric condition took a turn for the worse. Now the wind started on a high speed. Because of, or as a result of the wind, the waves started getting higher. By obviously, when the condition became worse, the family members and all the people on the boat prepared themselves. They made arrangements for their safety and tried to calm them uh, down. However, the ship was hit by a towering wave. One wave hit the ship that threw Gordon overboard. As a result of the strong wave that hit the ship, Gordon was taken out of the boat. The ship too nearly capsized. Capsized means overturned, but a wave cast her upright and Gordon pulled himself back on board. Thereafter, when finally narrator was also able to come on the ship once again, the boat, he was flung around and injured himself as he made his way to the steering wheel. Thereafter, suddenly Mary showed up and informed Gordon that the ship was sinking. Gordon left Mary at the wheel of the ship and went inside to see broken beams and scattered possession. Before that, Gordon Cook, who is the captain as well as the narrator of the chapter, who he was tackling the steering wheel, but when he noticed and he had to check the condition of the boat, he handed the wheel over to Mary. At that time, he went to see the condition of the ship. He noticed that the two crewmen were already pumping water out of the ship like madmen. They were trying to get the water out of the um, ship by pumping it out. Thereafter, he went to the cabin of the children. When he went and asked how they felt, they claimed that they were all right. Actually, Shu had received a big bump on her head. So Gordon clambered onto the deck and managed to cover the holes and canvas. He tried to cover the broken part through which they were getting more and more water. Thereafter, everyone worked throughout the night trying to pump the water out. The whole night they tried to pump the water out, steered the ship, as well as they were trying to connect to emergency calls, mayday calls. By this time, Shu's head had swollen alarmingly, and she also had a deep cut on her arm. When Shu was asked why didn't she complain about her injuries, she stated that she didn't want to worry her father when he was trying to save them all, which shows that she was quite a brave girl. By the morning 3rd, we noticed that the wave hit on 2nd January, and by the morning of January 3rd, the pumps had brought the water level under control. As they kept on pumping the water the whole night, they were able to bring the water under control. However, Gordon discovered that the ship was very badly damaged and Wave Walker would not survive the journey to Australia. This thought became very clear to the mind of Gordon, the captain of the ship. So he decided to sail towards the nearest island, and Isle Amsterdam was about 100 kilometers east to their location. That might be the best place to take shelter to save themselves. They put up the storm sail and continued sailing to the direction of east. The family and the crew ate their first meal that day after almost 2 days, means on 4th January. They had their first meal. But unfortunately, once again, storm clouds gathered again and the weather remained harsh for the next few days. Gordon went in to comfort his children that day, but when he went there, Jonathan asked him a question whether they were going to die. Before his father could utter to console them, he declared that they were not afraid to die if they were all together. Gordon was moved by his son's bravery and was determined to survive. He came out of the cabin fully determined to fight with whatever facilities, whatever things he had. But that evening, however, Gordon and Mary were sure that the ship would sink as water kept leaking into the ship. They were not so sure that they would be able to survive. The ship would be able to take them or help them reach the island. But miraculously, the ship survived the storm. They were successful in coming out of that way. Gordon tried to calculate their location using just an uncalibrated compass that was not magnetically set. He was unable to make an accurate estimate, but his daughter Shu raised his spirits. He was somehow trying to make the accurate location at that time. His daughter Shu came there with a cheerful card in order to boost the morale of his father and hoping for the best. Gordon was determined to reach the island. He set a course towards where he guessed the islands were. He wasn't feeling very hopeful, though, as he dozed off in his bunk. Although he set the direction and asked Larry to take a course of 180 degree or so, he instructed accordingly. But he was not so hopeful. He went to his bunk and he slept. He dozed off. It was when he woke up a few hours later. He was greeted by his children. His son and his daughter called him the best captain and the best daddy in the whole world. Actually, they were finally able to reach the island. They informed him that they had reached Isle Amsterdam. When they finally reached the island the next morning, Gordon had many thoughts in his mind. First of all, he thought of his wife, Mary, who had been at the wheel for hours. He thought of the two crewmen who had been pumping like madmen, and he could not stop himself thinking of his son who was not afraid to die, and his daughter who had a big bump, but she did not want to worry her father. That's all about the summary of the chapter We Are Not Afraid to Die. But I would like to tell you, students, that the story is quite factual and it requires your attention. Thank you, beta.